Well, hello to all you Scorpios out there. I go by Venusian Vibes, and I'm going to be giving you a love and spirituality reading for November. So, I'd like to start off by saying happy birthday. A lot of you guys are going to be having your birthdays in November, and so happy birthday. I will light this fresh candle for you right now. If I can get my lighter to work. There we go. I just made this candle. Its scent is pumpkin spice with some vanilla, and I've imbued it with the vibration of creativity. I like to make a candle for every month that I do my love and spirituality readings. Okay, so I'm going to get started by pulling an oracle card for you guys, and I won't read it to you until the end of this reading, but there'll be one key word on it, and so we're just going to start the reading with that. Well, it looks like 3 came out. I will take the top one, but I'll show you all 3 of them. So at the top we have abundance, then diligence underneath, and potential. So we can see that volcano erupting. That's very interesting. I will put this, I'm going to try to put it against the pumpkin. There we go. Okay. All right, so abundance. That's beautiful energy to get started with. Diligence and what was that third one? Potential. Okay. So we'll see how that comes through. We'll see how that comes through in your spread. Okay, I'm gonna cut the deck here now that I have you with me. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse. We can see how that plays into things. Okay. So we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the reverse, Ace of Swords in the reverse. Okay, a lot of blocked energy. I'm getting a sense of why that volcano came out in your oracle cards. There's a lot of buildup happening for you, a lot of energy that's being repressed, and it's going to be building in November, and there probably will be an explosion at some point, so we'll see what kind of explosion we're going to have here. Justice sits at the bottom. That's really good, balancing energies. It likely has to do with communication, because in November we have Mercury turning direct in Libra, and Libra is all about those scales, all about justice. You can see Venus right here being represented, and Libra, the sign of Libra there. This is about balance, bringing things to an equilibrium. And on November 1st, Mercury turns direct there. Mercury all about communication. So we'll see. And then with these cards here, Princess of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. So seems to almost be in the financial sector. I'll get more about these people here that we're seeing and seeing in your spread here, but we also have Mercury here. Looks like Mercury in Virgo is being represented by the 10 of Pentacles in this deck. Just looking at things. At the bottom of the deck, I have what's been going on with you, so your recent past, and we have the Sun card here. Death card, illumination. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the Sun card, illumination. The Death card, also kind of illumination because it's about transforming. It's also the card of Scorpio. So you know all about that energy of change and transmutation. And we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse, more blocked energy. Temperance, that's about balance as well. Ace of Cups. Okay, some self-love, some transformation, some sun, those two together. So you've been recently going through a very strong shift in your own personal energy. I think that a lot of you guys have been finding a greater sense of who you are and not apologizing for it. It sort of is like a sense of falling in love with yourself, finding bliss and happiness just within yourself and not so much from other people. This might have been because some of you guys have been expecting somebody to come forward, coming through as a fire sign with the Knight of Wands in the reverse, and I kind of see that same energy here in the reverse, so that's more blocked energy with the wands. So if that's a person in your life, this is someone who's not coming in, like who's not in the material plane coming into your life at all. There seems to be blocked communication, or there at least has been for you guys. And so with their absence, for a lot of you, this is a romantic partner. So from their absence, you've had to create a sense of self that is without their approval, their input, without their opinion of you. So some of you guys have been dealing with someone who's very opinionated and in the past dealing with this person. Some of you have sort of felt this pull to sort of internalize this person's opinion of you. And so it seems that there has been a falling out recently for some of you. At least there seems to be blocked communication. So without this person coming into your life anymore, you ended up undergoing a bit of a transformation with the Death card. You've rediscovered yourself, and it's great, beautiful, beautiful energy. I love this card in this deck. They say the Sun is the most positive card in tarot, and I understand why. It's all about that child, that inner child, and especially for you, it's all about that inner child because we also have the Ace of Cups coming through. So that's about loving more aspects of yourself than the past. Maybe you self-criticized. It's about accepting, kind of wading through some of the traumas you've experienced in your life, things that have made you feel like when we're going through life at a young age, we start to just become controlled and molded a certain way by society. And so it starts to get this feeling that how you are already is not okay, and you need to change in order to fit into what your societal expectations are. So we have a lot of traumas built in and a lot of self-criticizing that's really just internalized criticism from the demands of society. And so if that's kind of what I'm saying is kind of making a lot of sense to you, I'm guessing you're in that group that I'm talking about who's just undergone this sort of awakening in October. So it's like this awakening where things that you used to criticize yourself about, you don't anymore. You kind of accept that about yourself, and you just have more of a self-love that is independent of the societal standards. And I'm sorry, by the way, if you can hear my roommate in the background. I hope it's not bothering you too much. Okay, so that's where you've been. The sun is beautiful. You're right on track. And it's nice coming into November, the late October and November where the sun is in Scorpio, the sun is shining a light on you, on your deepest core self. So it makes a lot of sense that you would have the sun there. So moving forward into this spread, I see the same energy of this fire person, but it's blocked. They're not in November, they're not coming in towards you. So this can obviously be a fire sign person, literally, like Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. I'm getting more Sag and Aries, a little less Leo for you guys. Leos would be Leo. I could see you're both fixed sign. The Leo and Scorpio are both fixed signs, but that creates a lot of stubbornness between the two. And so if you are dealing with a Leo, you might have been experiencing someone who you find to be sort of egotistical and very stubborn. Like their way is the way, and their way is all about how they can get attention or they can get what they want. But you're less the classic Leo tends to be a little more egotistical. Sounds like a negative spin on what I'm trying to say is just self okay, I almost said self-involved, but that also kind of tends to have a more negative connotation. So just, I guess, self-focused for the Leo, but Scorpio energy is less self-focused and tends to be a little more like fluid with the watery element, but still very fixed signs. So still kind of rooted into your belief system. And that can definitely make you kind of rub you and the Leo with that stubborn energy. Kind of a lot of tension can be created there. So for some of you, I'm sensing that is something that's been going on. I think for a while you've been a little more I almost want to say submissive. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I guess I'm trying to say a little more accepting of their desire to sort of control things and set the pace and make sure that their will is kind of what's happening. And maybe they say something a little offensive, and instead of telling them, that kind of is hurtful or is rubbing me the wrong way. I think for a while some of you were just kind of allowing it and not speaking, I guess, your truth so much. And that would be mostly because, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse here, that's about speaking. That's about having your truth and being able to hold your truth strongly and then projecting it out into the world. But I think that there's an issue there with doing that because you just wanted things to go well. And like I said, this doesn't have to be a Leo person. It can be anybody. And if what I said about this dynamic, if that resonates with you, then it does. And it's just that person taking on those qualities that I described. So it's like that where you wanted things to go well and you just wanted to be close to them. You liked them. You wanted to be close to them, and you didn't want to rock the boat, so you let things slide. But then it started building and started the tension, and you're starting to realize that you're internalizing their opinions of you or their critiques of you, and because you let your boundaries a little bit lower. So then I think that's what you've been struggling with, and then there seems to be a blow up that has happened. Like I said, I keep getting into the past for some reason. I'm a fixation. I'm feeling this need to talk about the past a lot. So it sounds, or it's feeling like you all are feeling a little bit caught up in the past. I think a lot of you guys are going over and over the relationship that you had or the connection that you had with this person. yeah, a lot of you felt this desire to just be close to them and vulnerable with them, and just sort of the sense of just nakedness of being open and intimate, and just having this safe space with this person is what you desired. But then you start getting this, we're getting this criticism coming at you every once in a while, or if you didn't meet their needs. This person has been very oriented in their own needs, so if they didn't meet your needs correctly, it might not have come out that way, that's why they're criticizing you, but that's what it was about, was you need to meet my needs, or I'm going to try to manipulate you or in some way show you that your actions are wrong, so that you can adjust them and then meet my needs. And so that's kind of been the dynamic. So you start your shield. I'm just getting from this energy. I'm thinking this for most of you is going to be your energy here. And the shield just starts coming up. You can see her beautiful shield here. The boundaries before, when you'd lowered them down in order to kind of reach this intimacy and this connection with this person, but over time, this, they start creeping back up. Your shield gets back up because you're just starting to get tired of this dynamic that is so out of balance, so unfair, so about them. And that's good. That's a good thing that in my opinion, that your boundaries are moving up. And like I said, I'm feeling pulled to the past. So if a lot of you guys are feeling this pull to the past too, that's why I'm keying into that energy of just sort of wrapping around in your mind. I think you're in a better place now. Even, well, as I do this reading, I think that for a lot of you guys, this transformation isn't actually complete that we saw here yet. This sun, if you were listening to me a little bit ago and you're like, I haven't reached this place that you're talking about, like this place of illumination, transformation, that's because I'm doing this reading now in mid-October. This energy I'm actually feeling for a lot of you guys is actually end of October. So this is sort of, for a lot of you, we're all on, varying timelines, but I'm really getting a sense that for a lot of you, you're kind of at this phase with this person starting to not really come in. Maybe you had a blowout. I'm thinking that you actually became a little bit more self-loving towards yourself, and you stopped allowing this power dynamic to happen. You decided that enough is enough, and I'm not getting my needs met here, so I'm going to start, meeting my own, and screw you. I don't need you to, you're not doing it. And so you started losing faith. You started getting angry about this dynamic, and you decided to meet your own needs. And maybe you had a falling out with this person and they stopped coming in. So you might be at this phase. So if you haven't reached this sense of a beautiful awakening type, it's very powerful. Death and then the sun, very powerful. So this almost, I say, is like a little awakening. I'm getting a sense of a snake here, like a kundalini. For some of you, just like this kundalini energy rising. Maybe some of you get into kundalini yoga and start messing around with breathing techniques. Got the snake there. And so for some of you, literally having a kundalini awakening. It's very powerful, but the onset is this person not coming to you anymore, not having their energy towards you anymore, or they're manifesting 3D energy towards you anymore. So if you haven't gotten here yet, then this is what's to come. This is what you can expect for yourself. I'm thinking for a lot of you, it's going to be later in October, so after I did this reading. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with that. We have this abundance here at least by the end of November, you're going to be really feeling pretty good. And the Ten of Pentacles here, that's abundance, Lord of Wealth. It's great. It's really beautiful. I think it has to do with more connections, to the connections you feel to yourself and your environment around you. This is something to look forward to, the Ten of Pentacles. I might tell you a little more about this in a minute. But I just want to, I think I've kind of explained the situation, and you're either gonna, this is either for you or it's not. So you know if this is you. And in the center we have the Three of Wands. And then with the Ace of Swords next to it, this just is more about the concept of waiting. Waiting, it's classically known as waiting for your ships to come in. You've done all this work in the stage of the Two of Wands. You've done all this work. You've sent out, it's traditionally like you've sent out your products or whatever you've created. You've sent out your creations, and now in the Three of Wands, you're waiting for the returns. It's a lot of times for love translates to waiting for a lover to come in. And we see the Sun here, but right now we're in the reverse, so we haven't had this. A lot of you haven't had this amazing just like a flowering effect almost of just waking up. Really beautiful. So this is all about realizing you can't wait for, if this person has sort of left your space, you're realizing you can't, in November, you can't wait for them. That's not going to get you anywhere. You're also feeling a block in receptive energy. At first in November, there was a block in that energy of both. You know what? Actually, it's both. It's a block in energy of receptivity and also in giving forward. So creation. So I'm happy that I did imbue this candle with the energy of creating, because I think a lot of you are experiencing a creative block. This girl here is. This energy of creativity would come through in this card in the form of bringing something into the physical, manifesting it physically. So actually putting ink to paper, you know, putting the watercolors to the canvas, whatever it is that you're creating, it's actually doing it, because the Pentacles is all about the earth, the material plane, earthly things. So that energy is there for you, but it's coming up down. Oh my gosh, a crystal just fell. This crystal just fell. It's very pretty. I felt like I had to pick it up. I didn't want to leave it on the ground. Okay. So what I was saying is we have this blocked energy. Lots of potential, but it's all getting trapped. It's trapped in your subconscious. So how do we release it? How are we going to release it? That's going to be a huge focus for you in November. It's this not waiting anymore. Yeah, there is definitely a resistance to, especially with the Hanged Man here being your underlining energy. In the reverse, the Hanged Man it's kind of all about, at first maybe you were taking a moment back, internalizing things a lot in order to have some sort of shift. Like you might have had an intention to improve something or about yourself, or there's like this intention to turning inward and not really acting a lot. But then in the reverse is sort of what I'm feeling for you is it's going a little bit too far in November, where it's just becomes stagnating energy. That paradigm shift seems to be like blocked and not happening, and so it just becomes very stagnant. This is like where is your personal truth? Where is your new way of thinking? And it's centered around, for me, it's centered around this person for a lot of you, and sort of this feeling like you want to keep waiting. You want to maybe change for them. For some of you, your idea was to change for them, but all it's doing, of course, that's not the way to go. That's not the way to make strides, like personal strides in your life. That's not the way to develop more self-love, or I guess not develop, but to access more self-love. So it ends up creating a lot of angsty, tied up vibes. But coming in your seat of the unconscious is justice. So this is what you have within you that you're currently unaware of. So this is about diplomacy. So maybe your communication has been very emotive and indirect, and I mean this probably in general in life, but also as a way to possibly change a situation, try to control a person who you might have feelings for. You might use a certain way of communicating that, I don't know, somehow you get your needs met, but indirectly. I think this person they were so focused on getting their own needs met, they had you sort of trying to get your needs met in a very indirect kind of way. And so there wasn't a lot of diplomacy there in terms of just being clear about things, clear about what you need, and clear about what you want, and what's really going on with you. So, but that's what needs to come through, is that sense of really knowing exactly what your boundaries are, being very diplomatic with your words and your speech, kind of remaining a little bit less emotional as you try to communicate things to people. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this card. There's also that dichotomy with the yin and yang being represented here. It's about balance as well. Like I said, being the card of Libra, it's definitely about making sure that fairness is happening on both ends. Both parties are being treated fairly. Not equally, but fairly. So that's something that is going to be a new way of handling the world around you. Once you kind of get through this super blocked energy, just postponing this transformation that's coming through, like this wave of just insight, and like a newfound, I don't know, like passion kind of for life, a little bit, something like that is kind of there, and there's a lot of feelings, and I'm getting a sense of things feeling a little bit cloudy for y'all. So if we can kind of refocus, and it is gonna happen for you, like this, especially with these cards down here being very, very positive. Is coming for you. It's underneath this layer. You have all this abundance, like Lord of Wealth here, Ten of Pentacles, and it's not necessarily financial abundance, but it is about the material plane. So, but it can also be just your family, your environment around you, your life structure, your habits, things like that you just really enjoy and make you feel good, and you feel abundant, like you have everything you need just within yourself and the kind of the world you've created around yourself, so your environment. And that's definitely is coming in, like that appreciation and that sense of feeling like you have so much is there. It's all underneath this layer of something that for so many of you, that this person, your connection with them has, these connections are all like they're these intense, nearing things that are happening is like mirroring. So these people come into our lives and it feels toxic or painful, but they're really there to show us a part of ourselves was hurting already and that we needed to shine a light on. You know, with the sun here, so we had to shine a light on it. So they're very important for our personal growth. Yeah, very, very important. It was a very important connection for you. I understand how painful these things can be. But underneath it all, just realizing that it's also whatever you don't like about them, there's also a part of yourself that's like that, because we are always mirroring our external world. So it always comes down to that, like you notice something that you like or dislike in another person strongly, it means that you have that quality too, and it just might be a repressed quality. So if we can bring that energy back to the internal and less of this waiting game and this stagnant energy as we try to figure out how to get this person back into our lives or somehow regain a sense of intimacy with them. Yeah. I'm gonna get our clarifiers going now. Maybe I didn't finish that sentence, but basically if you just zero back into yourself and make it less about the other person, you could write down all the things you really love about them and really dislike about them, and sort of get a better sense for your own repressed qualities as a way to sort of bring it back to yourself. And then it might be easier to have that, to release some of that stagnant energy if you can really just focus on yourself a little bit more. Focus on your needs. Okay, I'm going to get some clarifiers. See if there's any more messages. Okay. King of Pentacles. Oh, and our other three came out together. Okay. The World. Okay. Well, this is very interesting. There's definitely another layer here to things. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles. Ten of Cups. So 2 tens now. The World. It's a beautiful card. It also represents a completion of a cycle. The Seven of Swords, but in the reverse. All right, so this King of Pentacles energy is very interesting. I'm almost getting a feeling that this is about what is to come if you focus on meeting your own needs and doing it by without a love partner, or at least without the partner or person you had that love connection with. This seems to be a premonition, or just a shining a light on what is to come for you in the future, which is a person who's very solid, So this person is very solid, very dependable, reliable. They are not super emotive or easily angered. They're grounded. A lot of them tend to be focused on their coin. They're focused on building something, creating something in their life. And of course, here we see this particular imagery is this guy is very content and happy with what he has or what they have. You know, gender doesn't matter, so they're content with what they have. And they want loyalty with the dog here. Loyalty is very important to them. Maybe the person you've been dealing with wasn't very loyal, or they you know, they didn't treat you in a way that showed a lot of loyalty towards you. So this person coming in they'll be very different in that way. Very respectful. I think you're definitely a match to this person. For some of you, this person might be a little older than you. Since you're coming through, for me anyways, the Princess of Pentacles, I'm thinking that this person for a lot of you is a little bit older. Or for some of you, sorry, not everyone. But you're going to be extremely happy with this person. Look at this card, the Ten of Cups, and we have the Ten of Pentacles down here. I'm thinking when you achieve this sense of, with the Ten of Pentacles, like this sense of just comfort within your own life that you've made for yourself. This is about bringing in new energy once you sort of complete this cycle with this other person and just become, like I said, we have that beautiful sun coming for you. So it's just this huge paradigm shift for you. And then we're getting a glimpse of what comes after, like what you can look forward to. And the Ten of Cups, so that's the ultimate just emotional contentment and joy within a connection. It can be within a connection of a family, a love partner, or just you and your dog, you know. But I think for you guys, it's about this person, this who's coming through is the King of Pentacles. So it's a love relationship for you, and it's going to be a very positive addition. This person will be a very positive addition to your life. It's going to be about dropping this energy or being within this energy of hiding, having to hide a part of yourself, feeling like the person that you're trying to connect with are hiding from you, hiding parts of themselves, not being real, being difficult to access, like on an emotional level, not meeting your needs, shying away from, you know, this person's running, they're cutting, they have feathers here, they're taking feathers from these crows, and then they're just running off. They're dodging responsibility, they're taking and they're not giving back, they're running off, very dodgy. In the reverse, I think this energy is lifting. So you're going to be released of this type of energy of the people around you, or for some of you, if you feel like you've been having to be manipulative to get your needs met, sort of in a dodging responsibility for kind of being unclear about things, and then dodging someone asking you more questions or trying to understand more. So if you've been doing that, it's about kind of releasing that need to feel like you have to manipulate to get your needs met, and feeling like you can actually be direct and get everything you need fulfilled without having to do take these measures that are less direct and kind of around the back, always leaving the other person guessing. But for most of you, I think this was the other person you were dealing with. They're just kind of, it's just the intimacy wasn't there as much, and you're forever trying to get more of it from them. So that's energy is going to be lifting. And I think it's also pointing towards those dark aspects, those aspects of yourself that have been repressed, kind of coming to light. All part of that beautiful transformation that we'll be seeing. A new way of diplomacy, truth, justice coming through for you. It'll be really great. Really great. We have the world. We're completing a cycle, looking forward. A newfound like excitement for what's to come. So this is going to be what November brings. It's not like November 1st, boom, this is how you're feeling. No, this is going to be a whole thing. And for some of, or for most of you, I'm getting a prelude. Like this is, for some reason, Spirit wanted me to see what is coming for you. And it's not necessarily November. It's like showing more of a future beyond November of what you can expect. Maybe in some way it's going to help with the resistance to this big transformation that is coming for you and that is within you, kind of ready to just happen. And somehow this information might help kind of help it kind of come through a little easier, release some of that blockage. Yeah, so that's really amazing. We have that volcano there. Remember that it is erupting. It's showing an eruption in that image. So it will happen for you. That release will happen. And then diligence. This bird is flying high over its surroundings. It's getting a all-encompassing view of things. So there's a need for you to pull back and look at things from a broader point of view, a little bit less in your feelings, and more from a removed perspective, and looking at it like how you would look at it if it was happening between two people who you didn't know. And if you had all the information, but without the partiality of knowing the two people, you would maybe be able, if you could make a judgment that's a little more based on an impartial perspective. I think that's what is also going to be helpful. Just the justice is also, it's impartiality. It's divining who gets what and what the truth is and what's fair without so much emotion being involved. So that I think that this card, diligence, I'm feeling it being connected to this justice card here of looking at things from a different perspective. And then abundance was the card that came on top, and I'm feeling it with the sun and the world cards here. And this is the one I'm going to read to you to close out our beautiful November reading. Okay. I like things to look even. Okay, I'm going to just find my little book that has all of the information. Where did I put that? I'm so sorry. I should have made sure I had this ready. Where would it? Okay, got it. Oh, I'm That lighting kind of looks better, actually. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, I found it. I had it on the other side of my cart. I'm so sorry about that wait. Okay, so going to find abundance. Okay, gotcha. Abundance. Everything is blossoming in life. Open yourself to receive. Abundance, fulfillment, and prosperity are ready to be activated in your life. Life desires you to prosper. You are moving toward an outpouring of money, energy, time, or love. And I think there's money coming in with the pentacles here. So you're doing pretty well in your financials. Definitely. And so it's not just money though. I think it's all of these for you. I think it's a outpouring of money, energy, time, and love. So opportunities are limitless. However, you must take action in the direction of your dreams. Don't wait for abundance to fall into your lap. Take steps. Give deeply and fully. Don't hold back. This card reveals that this is a great time to make investments. The more you give with a free and open heart, the more you will receive. Be grateful for what you already have, and even more will flow to you. Okay, so that's beautiful, and it's calling me to remind you that like I said, we have the external world is a reflection of our internal world. I think that a cultivation of this energy with the King of Pentacles, the qualities I described before, without getting into it again, is going to be very important for you to cultivate yourself. And then you will meet somebody who is, or be able to resonate with someone who maybe you've already met on a level that is more, where you're more of an equal, how do I say this? You're a vibrational match is what I was going for. So you are definitely, like I thought, coming through as the Princess of Pentacles, and you're doing well. You'll be doing well in your financial sector. You'll be feeling very abundant in your life by the end of November, and it's about just cultivating that energy, of abundance, and taking those action steps in the 3D, making moves, not stagnating, not just thinking about it, doing it. And that's going to help raise your vibration and your self-esteem as well. And then you eventually, at some point, are going to meet this person who's like a perfect match for you. So yeah, that's what I'm getting here. It's pretty fantastic. I'm so honored to have been able to do this reading for you guys. I really deeply hope that you enjoyed it and got something out of it. I would love to hear your comments. Any feedback. This is my new channel that I just have made, and I'm just very grateful for those who watch, and I just wish the best for you completely. And once again, happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday, you guys. All right, I wish you the best. Okay, till next time.